David Hogg, staring the pot. He's staring it. He's staring it. He's staring it. David Hogg is staring this pot, and I'm here for it. Before we begin today's video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Follow me on my social media as we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Amen. So if you haven't heard, David Hogg, he is a vice chair for the DNC, and he is coming out full force. He said, we are going to primary these Democrats. We're going to primary them. I have no regrets, and we are going to do what we have to do to reshape and restructure this Democratic Party. I agree in the sense of, like, you're not entitled to a seat. Point blank period. You are not entitled to a seat, whether you're a Democrat, Independent, Republican, whatever the case may be. You have to earn your seat. Things that I have curiosity about or questions still about is because, are you primarying incumbents that are just not utilizing their seats to the full capacity? Are you primarying people because of their age? Are you primarying people because you personally don't like them? I think the reasoning behind who you choose to primary is going to be a big component in this. I personally believe if you are not maximizing your seat to the full capacity, by all means, primary them. Get them out of here. Next. Give it to somebody who's going to utilize that seat. But if you're just going to primary people because they're older age, I personally disagree with that, because I don't think old age automatically equates to not being efficient or sufficient in that position. Heard some of his arguments in some interviews of him saying that, you know, it's time for a new generation to come in, yada, yada, yada. The new generation don't mean nothing if they're just going to do the same thing the person prior to them did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we push this new generation. It's not about necessarily the new generation. It's all about the mindset. Like, how are they thinking? How are they strategizing? How are they planning to use this seat to its max capacity? Let me put my glasses on, because it's about to go down. Let's go ahead and watch some clips of this interview that he did. It's pretty much him going over a little bit about his motives behind this. The fact that a lot of people are saying that they need to sue David Hogg is actually crazy to me. I'm just like, sue him for practicing democracy is kind of crazy, but let's begin.
And let's turn now to another story. With Republicans holding the majority in Washington, many are wondering how the Democrats will rebound in the midterms and beyond. For more on that, we're going to bring in David Hogg. He's the vice president of the Democratic National Committee and an activist for many years now. David, welcome to Scripps News.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, what is the purpose of this new initiative that you have within your group? It's called Leaders We Deserve. And how are you funding this?
So this is funded from grassroots donors around the country. The work that I do with Leaders We Deserve has been done long before I was a vice chair at the DNC. And the work that we're doing is twofold. One, we're looking to elect the most effective Democrats possible. And part of that looks like challenging Democrats that are failing to meet the moment right now. Our party has a 27% approval rating, and specifically challenging Democrats that are in safer Democratic seats that in no way, shape, or form risk us losing majority in Congress by any means whatsoever. Our party is in a moment of crisis. Our country is in a moment of crisis right now, and we have to show people how we are actively working, not to push out older people by any means, but push out ineffective people and bring in the most effective leaders that are ready to meet this moment. And that's part of what Leaders We Deserve is here to do, along with supporting younger people that are running in our frontline districts around the country that can help make sure that we win a majority for the Democratic Party.
Who in particular are you hoping to primary, and who are you endorsing and potentially going to give money to in order to support their efforts to run for office?
You know, right now, part of the hope here with announcing this is that many of our members that are failing to meet the moment and know they're failing to meet the moment will decide not to seek re-election, so that a primary is not necessary in the first place. So that's part of what we're waiting to see right now. We don't want to have to do this, to be clear. And I can't be clear enough. This is not just something that is about age. This is about effectiveness more than anything. Unfortunately, there are people of all ages that suck. There are people of all ages that are great too. It's not something that is just about an age limit, for example. And what we're trying to do here is restore people's faith in the Democratic Party, that we're here to meet the moment and not just say well, we need to defend democracy, but show how our party is using democracy to help revive the American dream that far too many Americans feel like is no longer existent because of astronomically high costs of housing, of education, of healthcare, and so much more. And the fact that they do not feel safe in their communities on a day-to-day basis because of instances like of gun violence, like we saw just yesterday, and what we're doing to deliver safe communities that people can afford to live in.
Some of the older members of the Democratic caucus right now who have been in leadership in the past are people like Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi, Jim Clyburn of South Carolina, Steny Hoyer of Maryland. Are those people that you would want to see primaried?
No. And the reason why I say that is because we need people that are there to meet this moment. And I believe that especially people like Congresswoman Pelosi, they've spent...
I'm confused. How do you say no when she uses Nancy Pelosi's name as an example? Me personally, how credible am I supposed to take this? Or not even credible, how serious am I supposed to take this? Because if you're saying we're going to primary these Democrats, these people who aren't meeting the moment, it's giving like you had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like, okay, we're going to challenge these Democrats, this, then the third. She just gave you one person an example, Nancy Pelosi, as we all know. But time is ticking for the next person to come in my opinion, at least. I think Nancy Pelosi doesn't fully represent where the Democratic Party should be. How does he say no? Like, how does he say no? He says that we need people there who's been there. He uses Nancy Pelosi as an example. She's been there for 10 years and so forth. But how efficient and effective is she currently within the Democratic Party? The whole Democratic Party needs restructuring, in my opinion. I think that maybe the progressives need to have their own party. I don't know what it is, but I truly believe the whole Democratic Party is a mess. And the fact that he did not use this moment to not even necessarily call out Nancy Pelosi, but say that she is not exempt from being primaried, I think that would have actually put a nail in the coffin. Like, that would have really put the period at the end of the sentence. Like, okay, I'm gonna take this seriously, because no one is above criticism and no one is above a primary. I don't know how I'm feeling about this. Like, I like the concept of it. Like, I do like the concept of reconstructing the Democratic Party and putting people in there who are more effective, but it's not, I don't know. Something's missing. I don't know how much I can trust David Hogg's plan.
She also oversaw things like the passage of the first gun law in 30 years, some of the largest climate spending in American history and human history of any country in the world. And what we need in Congress isn't just, 435 25-year-olds by any means. That's not what I'm advocating for. What we need is a diverse coalition of all ages, of all people who are eligible to serve. And we need people there like Clyburn, like Pelosi, like Steny, that are ready to mentor that next generation. Because frankly, what concerns me is when there are a lot of our members that end up, unfortunately.
See, was the same one. Wait, I could have sworn. Okay, something's not adding up. David Hogg, isn't he an AOC fan, right? If I'm not mistaken, he actually supports, or he publicly has supported AOC. And now Nancy Pelosi. Okay, mentoring and Nancy Pelosi in the same sentence, in my opinion, is just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Number one, like, just anybody with a stock portfolio as Nancy Pelosi and her husband, I feel like it says a lot. It says a lot. Two, she was the same individual who allegedly pulled strings to prevent AOC from serving chair in one of the committees. So I'm like so confused. I'm so confused. Because if we're talking about looking at the future of the Democratic Party, I don't think Nancy Pelosi is the future of the Democratic Party. I don't even think the Democratic Party knows what direction they are wanting to head when it comes to the future of their party. That's why I think that it should honestly just be two parties. Like, you have your moderate Democrats and then you have the progressives, because at this point, it's what's going on? What's going on?
institutional knowledge. We need older mentors there to show our young people how to work through the system, and younger people there with new ideas that may not always agree, frankly, but ultimately are working towards the same goal of getting Democrats elected and making sure that we're improving lives of the American people. So those are not people that I would say that we need to challenge here. What we need to be doing is looking to elect people specifically like Senator Van Hollen, who are meeting this moment and not just saying, well, we don't have power, we can't do anything, but putting action behind his words, going to El Salvador to meet with the man that was abducted by Donald Trump and his administration as an admission of their own accident, like they talked about. We need people that are there to fight and meet this moment and show that Democrats aren't just saying a bunch of talking points or just waiting for midterms to take action against Donald Trump.
I want to ask you, though, do you risk helping Republicans more than your fellow Democrats with this kind of effort? I mean, just to give you an example of some of the discourse that has been percolating, especially online since you made this announcement, a top Trump campaign official in 2020, Tim Murdaugh, tweeted earlier today that you're the best thing that's ever happened to the Republican Party. Do you think that your efforts may end up being counterproductive to the Democrats?
No, and I think part of the reason why people think that is because they aren't reading beyond the headlines. What we're doing here are in no way, shape, or form is what we're doing potentially risking the House of Representatives or having a majority there, because we're only focused on Democrats that are in safe Democratic seats where essentially no matter what happens, it's almost certainly going to be a Democrat that is elected there because it's such a blue seat. What I am concerned about is if we continue the current status quo that we're on, because I hear all the time across DC, things are not going great. We need dramatic change. We need better messaging. Here's the deal, though. We can have the best script in the world, but if you have terrible actors, it doesn't matter how good that script is. And a lot of people, clearly by the polling, know they feel like the Democratic Party is not meeting this moment. And the only way we're going to change that is by electing leaders who are there to fight for them, that are on the front lines a lot of the time of so many of these issues. So, for example, right now in Congress, if we had the same number of 25 to 30-year-olds elected in Congress that there are proportionally in the general population.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm confused. Because it's like, I understand the concept. Like, okay, primary people who don't want to do their jobs, primary people who are just sitting there and not, fighting back or whatever the case may be, however you want to word it. But then again, it's like, okay, we're only going to do it in primary and focus on seats that are beyond blue. I'm so confused. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, wouldn't it make more sense to allocate that much time and money and energy in swing states? Just a suggestion. I know what a lot of y'all are going to say and not going to lie, but let me know your thoughts on the comments down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Follow me on my social media as we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. I love y'all all. God bless y'all. This is Uduak, connecting people with policy. Toodles. What's so proud?